All right, so we just got the Sony ZV-E10 II. This thing just got announced. And if you're like me, you're probably interested in picking up this camera. There's probably a million reviews flooding your feed, but the real question you're asking yourself is if this camera is worth it. You probably want to know what they changed, where they cut corners, because they definitely cut corners, and what are the better alternatives to the Sony ZV-E10 II. Now, right now I'm shooting on a Sony FX30, which has the same sensor as the ZV-E10 II. We'll get into the specs in a second. So if you watch this, at least you'll have an idea of what the image quality is like for a talking head perspective anyway. And me personally, I find this type of content helpful because it helps me make an educated buying decision. So we're gonna go over the good, the bad, the alternatives, and I'll actually give you some recommendations when it comes to buying equipment, the best lens and body combos available on the market. I'll have those links in the descriptions below so you guys can check that out. And if it's your first time here, my name is Fredo. I'm a full-time content creator. I actually built my channel off of Sony, the Sony A7C, the Sony FX30, which is what you're watching right now. But that doesn't mean I'm loyal to Sony. Sorry if you're watching this, especially because at $1,000, there are some better alternatives if you want to be a content creator. And that's what the Sony ZV-E10 II is. It is a content creator camera. It's not really a vlogging camera. People don't really vlog anymore. It's more about selfie content, and what you really want is high quality. So yeah, let's go over the pros of the ZV-E10 II and why you might be considering it. So the good, well, you've got a new sensor. That new sensor is the same sensor that's in the FX30, which is what you're watching right now, and the Sony a6700. It's a 26 megapixel sensor with an Exmor R processor. You've got an updated battery, which is the full-size battery in the FX30 and the ZV-E1. So you'll have more runtime, but also that means that they changed the body of the camera. The body of the camera has some ergonomic improvements, like a bigger grip. The SD card is now located on the side of the camera, so it's easy to remove. And they updated the button placements on the top, so it's easier to know when you're in the slow and quick photo or video mode. You've got a zoom rocker at the front and a couple other small changes to make it more ergonomic. This also means when you have your camera on a tripod, you no longer have to open the battery door or take it off the tripod to change the SD card. They're also giving us an updated mic capsule on the top. It's a 3-way directional mic capsule, so you can select forward, back, or ambient noise. You've got higher resolution codecs when you're recording video, up to 600 megabits per second, which is stupid. They updated the electronic stabilization. Instead of having a 44% crop, it's only 33%. Doesn't sound like much, but it makes a difference. And then the camera also has more focus points, but Sony's autofocus is already amazing. Besides that, the camera is very similar to the Sony ZV-E1. Same flip out screen, no EVF. Yeah, it's a touchscreen as well. You got your background defocus modes, a headphone jack, a microphone jack, and of course micro HDMI, which everybody hates. So kind of frustrating when you think about it. This camera has been in development for 3 years. Let's say that's how long it's been since the first one came out, and they didn't really make this camera future proof. They kind of just barely upgraded things, which makes me feel like it's a cash grab, especially when we get into those alternatives. And it's just those little things that piss me off where they cut corners on this camera but raise the price. The camera's coming in about $1,000, which is not bad for a content creator's camera, especially if you're serious about it. But they decided to remove IBIS, in-body image stabilization. You're marketing this as a vlogging camera and you're getting rid of the thing that makes the shot look steady. What are you doing, Sony? On top of that, there's no mechanical shutter. Let me see if I can show you the mechanical shutter, what that looks like. That thing, which means that rolling shutter could be an issue depending on what type of content you're shooting. There's no AI reframing features, which you think they'd want to put in a camera in 2024. And then the last thing that they omitted is 4K 120. Now, again, none of these things are deal breakers depending on how you use the camera. If you're serious about getting smooth shots, you're going to put the camera on a small gimbal anyway because it is so compact. But me personally, I'm using this as a camera to take content of myself on the go. That's what I want. I already have a Sony FX30. It's my studio camera. I use it for all my talking head videos. It is amazing, but I need something portable, something that doesn't stick out, something that's small, compact, that I can put a nice lens on there and shoot personal content. The FX30 is just a little too bulky. That being said, for $1,000 and maybe even a little bit more, there are some better alternatives. Cameras that have more features, better specs, or even full frame. So like I said, I'm going to put those links in the descriptions below if you're interested in those alternatives, but let's list them off real quick. Of course, the first one is going to be the original Sony ZV-E10. That camera is still amazing, and it has those features that are omitted like IBIS and mechanical shutter. And if you charge it via USB-C, which most people have anyway, who cares about a bigger battery? The next camera is the Sony FX30. If you're going to use it for in-studio, not take it out of your house, the FX30 is a better option, especially because of overheating. And if you're not loyal to Sony, there's two other alternatives that are amazing. First off is the Fuji X-S20. I love that camera. I want to get that camera. I'm just not invested in Fuji like that, not yet. But it is an APS-C camera with open gate capabilities, which is perfect for content creation. And it still has all those product showcase modes that you would want, super easy to use. And they have a decent lens selection as well. And then the full frame alternative is going to be the Canon R8. The Canon R8 is so slept on. It's about $1,200 depending where you get it from. And that thing is a full frame camera that is still very portable, doesn't have the best lens selection, but they just opened up the mount, so stay tuned for that. And if you don't care about product showcase mode, it is the better alternative. So there's tons of options for us to get in 2024. Depending on where you want to invest your money. Me personally, I'm still going to get the ZV-E10 Mark II. Stay tuned. I will have an unboxing and an unbiased review, unsponsored, because I need a portable camera for daily usage. So yeah, hopefully that helps you in your buying decision. If you have any questions, leave me in the comments below. Stay tuned for when I get the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. This is not the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. This is a Sony NEX5T from 2000 something. I watched one of those videos where people are like, you can use an old camera from 2007 and it'll, not 2007, 2010 and it'll still be good for your content. It wasn't. Don't be fooled. Spend your money wisely. Also, when it comes to Sony, it's better to get their newer cameras than their older cameras just because they support them longer. And that's kind of what you're investing in. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to give you suggestions for camera lens combo. So the best lens camera combo that I can think of is the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II and the Sigma 10 to 18 millimeter. That is an amazing combo that covers everything you will ever need for your content creation journey. You slap that on there and you got a nice compact, easy portable setup for anything that you do, talking head videos, traveling. I actually have an upcoming trip to Mexico and I want to bring a small portable camera. That's why I want to pick up the ZV-E10 Mark II and not my Sony FX30. That's going to stay in my studio. I don't want to get robbed or stolen or anything like that. It's such a bulky camera. People like pick you out of a crowd. Every time I'm using this outside, people come up to me. It's a conversation starter and I don't want that. So yeah. And also there's some other lenses if you want to vlog. Right now I'm shooting on the Sony FX30 with the Yongnuo 11mm 1.8, which is an awesome lens. It's got pretty decent depth of field as you can see right there. Let's do this for the thumbnail. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content and I'll see you in the next one.